Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Life as I See It. And everybody, Happy New Year! Happy New Year! And no doubt you've spent some time, at least a little bit of time, thinking about what you would like to do in the new year, your resolutions, your New Year resolutions for the new year. And it's important that you just go for them. You know, it's not about thinking about your New Year's resolutions. It's about knowing what you want to do and just going for it. You know, it's the mind can be our absolute worst enemy. Our mind is always trying to tell us, don't do this, don't do that. You don't have enough skill for this, you don't have enough skill for that. But it's important for you to just push along anyway. I used to be a runner. I was a really good runner. Especially I used to win 5Ks. And by the end of the second mile, my mind would pick up and say, hey, aren't you getting really tired of this crazy race? Don't you want to just give up now? And I just basically shushed my mind and I kept on going. I stayed present in my race and I kept on running. I just wanted to finish and I wanted to win. I went for the finish, I went for the win, and that's what I did. And so that's basically what the new year really is all about. It's about making these resolutions and deciding I want to be happy. I want to be okay. I don't want to spend so much time on social media because that's really a major problem. And when we're talking about social media, I actually have an amazing guest back on my show. And I have Dr. Olga Silberstein with me. So great to see you again. Thanks so much.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. Anytime. So we're here today at Dr. Olga Silberstein's office.
Hello.
And we're discussing basically today social media and how it gets in the way of our lives. We don't think it is while we're at it, but that's because some of us have become major compulsive addicts to the social media situation. But we are, and it's a problem. We've got to face it. What do you think?
Absolutely, especially with modern technology where you can alter your image. You can use filters when you make your butt bigger and waist smaller and lips bigger, whatever you want to do with them. So it creates very unrealistic beauty standards, especially when millions of people following the celebrities. And those celebrities, first of all, they do alter their body. Famous Kardashians with Brazilian butt lifts, reversal of Brazilian butt lift, and the filters. We all know they use filters to alter their body, their faces, and the newer generations of girls, mostly girls, boys too, who looking at those images and getting used to of really unnatural body type with small waists and big butts and going for surgeries just because of that, trying to fit in this unrealistic body standards. It's a huge problem. Huge problem also with creating unnatural big lips. We all in aesthetic medicine, we have names for all of that, like all those duck lips and fish lips and witchy chin, huge chins and huge cheekbones, which completely unnatural.
They could open a package.
Yeah.
They're so sharp.
And what happens is that even a study done that when person keeps looking at the images with the big lips, first they can recognize it as an unnatural, but when you keep looking at unnaturally big lips, you become so accustomed to it so that you feel, oh, that's natural, that's normal. So normalizing unnatural. And there is even a term for this as a perception drift. So you drift from normal perception of unnatural augmented lips and you feel it's natural, or perception drift in terms of you don't see yourself as normal. So you want more and bigger and more, and you don't see that you become looking unnatural. Drifting in a perception looking at yourself or others. It's a problem. It's a big problem, and we're trying to fight that trend of oversized lips and other body parts, and keep people more natural.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. It's about being more natural. And yes, I've had many, many things done, but I like to think that I keep it natural and I keep it normal. I'm also not afraid to tell people that I come to Dr. Olga Silberstein's to get my stuff done, because why not? Why should I, if I know something amazing and I know an amazing person, why should I keep it to myself?
No, don't keep it to yourself.
I've never. No, I believe if you have awesome information, you share your awesome information. But that's the thing with social media, is that people share awesome information, but also they share very not cool information. And like Dr. Olga was saying, like people, they filter out their face so much, and they filter their bodies and even how their hair looks into such unnatural ways that people think, oh, this is the way I gotta look, and becomes a new normal. And it's so unfortunate. And who is most likely to fall prey to this kind of visualization? It's usually the younger crowd. Though some middle-aged people and even some older people also get involved with this. They say, oh, this is the look today. I gotta be part of this. And who's most likely to become a part of this? People who have a very low sense of self-esteem.
Excellent point. And this is what I was just about to say. If you don't have a good self-esteem, and you're looking at those unnatural figures, and you become like very self-conscious, and it can create even like psychological dysfunction, a problem. And it's in this time and age, I think social media responsible for a lot of that.
100%.
After COVID, during COVID, people were so isolated and just so much online and on social media, and that's really not healthy and not helpful,
Yeah.
Right. You as a professional know so much about it, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's just like sometimes, like even let's say I'm on a train and I'll say, okay, I can bet anybody anything that when I look up now, 95% of people are going to be on their phones. I look up, and 95% of people are on their phones. You could predict this already. It's true that some people, they need to text with other people about important information, need to be on the phone for something important, or need emails. But some people, they're just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. It's like it's an obsession. I personally think that social media has caused people who naturally are a little bit obsessive to become even more so, to become even more obsessive compulsive. Not to say that they have the full blown out disorder where you can't leave your house because you're washing your hands 300 times a day, but definitely a touch of obsessive compulsion. And it's sad. It's sad to see the generations being like this. I'm not just talking about the teens, though they have the worst, because they're the ones who, this is how they grew up. But even my generation, it's like, we didn't have this, but even some of us get into this chronic scrolling, and trying to compare, am I better than her, am I worse than her, better than her, worse than her? And of course it breeds a lot of jealousy.
Such a waste of time. It's a lot of positives. It's always like it's a pros and cons and all this newest technology, but it's it's definitely if you become obsessive with that, it draws a lot of problem.
100%.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a little bit of positive that came out of it is that my daughter Esther, she found an amazing friend in England who she never ever would have met if not for social media. So that's a nice thing.
We're very global now. We know what's going on in other part of the earth, and it can connect with people, definitely.
So that was great.
So everything in moderation is 100%. Anything else, right?
That's right. Yeah. She found an amazing mentor named Montana Tucker that she absolutely adores, and she's a very, very well-known social influencer. Mm. And basically, what does Montana talk about lately? She talks a lot about how people are denying the Holocaust, but they can't. They can't. She and her mother, Michelle Tucker, they took a visit up to Auschwitz in Poland just to show people, hey, it really, really, really happened. They took a whole series, one day this, one day this, one day this, one day that, just to show people, because people are denying the Holocaust. And she's like, how can people do that? It's horrible. So she's been using her social influencing to show people what really happened and what you can't deny.
That is excellent. Just like negative impact of all those influences, like Kanye West.
Horrible.
Like he has millions of followers, and if the person is stupid or crazy and says stupid and crazy things, and it's so many, it spreads like it's a fire, and with all those false information and hate.
So terrible. Yeah.
So it's nice to hear that there's people out there
doing good
with their social platform, their access to all those followers. It's great.
There was a time myself, and I have opened and closed like 6 Instagram accounts over the past 6 years. And like I open it up and I take a lot of pictures of myself modeling or like being at a cool place or being with cool people. And then I said, and posting them and saying, what's this all for? What do I want to gain? And then I realized after each sixth attempt of posting up all of this information, these pictures of myself and like these cute little comments, I'm like, what did I gain? I gained nothing. I gained nothing. I did nothing with my platform, so I shut it down. I said, I can find other ways to show people how I'm feeling. I can, that's exactly right. I can show other ways to be inspirational. It doesn't have to be via the social media, via Instagram, which is just like a pretty picture of me with pretty people in a pretty restaurant, and like, oh, whoa, enjoy life. You're having a great time. Yes, that's nice, but I don't want to breed jealousy, and also I don't want to give these pictures to people of the perfectionism that can just make them feel badly and hope that they can like match up to that.
Yeah, well, I use my social media for mostly my business and before and afters, and but it is really hard. It's like I feel like it's a constant work, and it's constant. It's not easy, but for me, I feel a blessing actually, because I can show my work. That's and a lot nice. Of people can see it. It's actually working great, but and I'm really, if I did not have business and like necessity of kind of show my work out there, I would rather not have it. And actually I have a lot of people, both middle-age and Generation X, Generation G, whatever, I'm already so people choose not to have social media, and I think you just free up so much time.
You're
so
right.
much time. If you need some information, you can always see, you can Google, but if you have your account and it's like, okay, I just want to check, and you just check it, and then you just stay there for a while. It's just it's just such a waste of time for me. I feel like when you just trying to just spend a few minutes and then you just stay at, oh my god, it's half an hour, it's 40 minutes. You could have done so much with your life over this time if not social media. That's how I feel about it.
During those 40 minutes you could have been taking your vitamin supplements for the morning. You could have been doing exercising. You could have been doing your EFT. You could have been praying. You could have been eating breakfast. You could do a lot in 40 minutes,
while looking at somebody's filtered body parts. Come on.
More important.
But you get stuck in there.
You can do it.
Yeah.
It's all the color. It's the forever changing pictures.
It's addictive. It's totally
addictive. And the people who created this in the first place wanted it to be so. They wanted it to be so. There was a English rocker in the late 1990s, when the first cell phone came out, and he said, you see this simple cell phone? Today you can place calls to people, and you can actually get a hold of the people that you have to get hold of. You need a doctor, you can call the doctor. That's all it is today. But I predict that in 20 years' time, you will be sending videos out for the public to see. The public will be sending videos out for you to see. You'll be able to take pictures and send them to anybody. You will not get a moment's worth of privacy or quiet or just relaxation, because they're going to be sending you videos. You're going to be sending them videos. It's going to be back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. They're going to post up stupid pictures of their kid's third
Yeah,
birthday.
it's a little bit excessive at this point. I feel like.
It's because and he was right, but this rocker was right. This rocker is probably off his rocker, but he was right. He was right. He was right in what he said. It's because this simple cell phone has turned from being something that used to be very, very helpful into something that's it's extraneous. It's unfortunate. It's
As anything else, it's like
6-hour activity unto itself.
Anything in moderation.
Everything,
You have to use it. You cannot over exercise. Over exercising is bad for you. I mean, it's just like everything.
It's true.
It's a good thing can be overused.
It's true.
And abused.
That's so true. In the 1980s, our big addiction was TV. You could spend a half an hour a day watching your favorite show, or you could spend 6 hours a day watching 12 favorite shows. So it's this cell phone now is a lot like TV of the 80s.
We outgrow it. I'm sure. We outgrow it at some point.
I pray.
We'll find it.
And I pray that there's not some horrible substitutes that takes its place. I'm always like, what's the next thing? What are they going to come up next? What are they going to dream up next? And it's going to make this cell phone look like it's something from the 1600s, you know?
They implant it in your brain, I guess. I don't know.
Oh my heavens. And not just that, when they hear you talking, I've discovered in the past 4 or 5 months, when they hear you talking about anything, this is what they advertise for you. I'm sure that the phone is listening.
Oh yeah, we know that.
That took me months. That took me years to realize that until this
like
past
if
summer.
you talk about something and then it's an advertising of the same thing comes up.
Exactly.
I've seen it a few times.
Yeah.
Definitely.
The first time I realized that was during the summer. Me and my daughter, we were in Miami Beach, and we were talking about she wanted blueberries. I'm like, we have some blueberries in the fridge, but not a lot. We'll buy some more later. And later on that night, we got this whole commercial, this whole ad for blueberries. And we're like, what the heck? We said. It's like, is this thing spying on us? Can we see anything in privacy? It's deranged.
Yeah, it shouldn't be this way, definitely.
It
shouldn't be. I don't know. It's just like the government. I don't know who's supposed to take care of it and put a cut. Like they can't. It's private.
It's like, there's no privacy anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, and I shut off the phone for the purpose of the show, because Murphy's Law is if I'm doing a show, I'm going to be called 1 million times by 1 million people. So I turned off this phone, and I'm wondering, like, can it still hear what I'm saying and process what I'm saying?
Yeah, if it's on mute by now.
Throw it back at me later. And I was like, it's funny because last night I was thinking about this picture that I had taken last year right before I taught a yoga class. And it was a gorgeous, very dreamy kind of a picture. Later on that night, what shows up in my photos? That picture. I'm like, there's no way. These guys know too much. They know way more than they should. And I'm like, if there's any way I could ever just like dispose of the cell phone and still be in touch with people, I would.
No, I don't think we can live without it. It's a great help in our everyday life. It's just the privacy issue is a big one, and I don't have the whole day to think about it, but I'm pretty sure we come to the solution.
Yeah, I think so. Everything like has its solution in the end. Hopefully, like it's not like something bigger that becomes such a big deal that it like kind of like overclouds the cell phone, because you're always like, what's the next big thing? What's the next big thing? Like one day this is gonna seem like
at the same time, like any news, anything. Like I actually learn a lot. Let's say I follow my colleagues and I learn a lot. I see what they do, and we just share ideas. So it's a lot of great things. Let's say we just got a new longer lasting toxin. It's approved for 6 to 9 months. It's similar to Botox. It's the same component, but it's like it developed the way that it's attached to the receptors, neuromuscular junction better.
Oh, wow.
So instead of 3 to 4 months, it lasts 6 to 9 months.
Oh wow!
You see, so it's all over Instagram right now. It's just got approval from FDA,
Nice.
and we're using it see, I did it for me.
I love it. You look like 27.
Right, yeah.
You look like a grad student.
I take it. That's fine. Thank you.
You're welcome.
But definitely with all our aesthetic tools, we can, and we discussed that before, we can look better, and if we look better, we feel better, we live a more active and fulfilling life.
100%. 100%.
So now it's much better. You don't have to come like 3 to 4 months for Botox. You can just do it twice a year. So, and it's all over social media, and I get different tricks and tips from my colleagues as well.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So social media really is a double-edged sword. I guess so is TV. You know, TV can help to relax you, and also you can become addicted, and it can become your job, so to speak. I used to know people who were addicted to TV. They could literally sit in front of that set for 5 hours straight. Like, it's just crazy to contemplate, but people used to do that. Mm-hmm. But now people can also just do their social media for 5 hours straight. So I feel like in every generation there's an addiction of some kind.
Yeah.
An unfortunate one that just takes time away from you 100%, and just wastes your time.
Mm-hmm.
So the question now is like, what to do about that? What to do about the addiction, the TV addiction of yesteryear, and now the social media addiction. And the key is, as with any addiction, just stop. You just got to stop it. And don't ask your mind, can I stop? Can I really stop it? The more you overthink whether or not you can stop your social media, the more you're going to keep on doing your social media. You're going to get stuck in that web of, I can't get out of it. I can't get out of it. It's all about pushing your body to move, to do, to put down the phone, to close the TV, to get out there, exercise, do some other activity, meet friends for real instead of on social media. It's really what it's all about. And your soul is actually what moves, what motivates your body to go. A lot of people don't realize that. A lot of people think that, okay, when my mind is ready, when my mind tells me that I can put down the phone, I'll put down the phone. Your mind is never going to tell you to put down the phone. You know, it's your soul and your body together in tandem that decide to get out and move it. Just gotta move it.
That's true. That's true. As any other, it's easier said than done.
I know.
Like, you know, with addiction, nobody would be addicted if it would be so easy.
So easy, right? I know. I make it sound like it's kindergarten.
No. Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah. So for some, I know it sounds like a lot easier said than done. It's not always as easy as I make it sound. A lot of people, when they're having a hard time breaking an addiction, the real biological cause is that they lack serotonin. They lack that hormone serotonin. That's the happiness hormone. And basically it makes them kind of like sort of stuck to the phone, stuck to the TV, because in their subconscious mind they're thinking, what's better than this? What else can I possibly accomplish?
Do you know that they get serotonin release with scrolling or with texting or like getting likes? It's shown that people get serotonin release with likes on their Instagram or whatever, or comments. It makes them happy, and that's how the addiction works.
That's right. It
feeds the addiction.
That's right. It's like somebody who has to have their cocaine, their marijuana. Like they have to have the fix, so they get on the phone, so they have the marijuana. So they have the marijuana brownie. You know, it's like it's really the same kind of thing. They're so addictive because your hormone serotonin actually picks up. It is released during this time when you realize people like me. They like my picture. They like my selfie. They like the things I'm saying. Yeah. Whoa, people love me. Very, very, very hard to break away from that kind of an addiction. And even people who aren't always posting, but they're always kind of sort of scrolling, they see something that's interesting, like, whoa, wow, this is so cool, and this is a new great product. Let me purchase it now. That happens.
And I think ADHD gets worse as well. Like people so used to this 5 seconds video, so they can't sustain attention to read the book, study. They're not stimulated enough. They're so used to this. It's very stimulating. These short videos on TikTok.
Oh my gosh!
They can't even sustain attention to do something longer, let alone like studying actually textbook. That's what you need to do. Like that's why students like they better put away the phone. Like I don't know, hide it, leave it at
Or
home,
listen to
and
Mozart while you study.
go to the library and leave it at home, because otherwise you're gonna be constantly going, and just it's gonna interrupt the studying so much.
Yeah. 2 times last week, by mistake, I left my phone at home, my cell phone, and these were such nice days. So listen, no doubt I'm missing text messages, no doubt I'm missing emails and phone calls, but that's it. I was away from my phone, or my phone wasn't working. That's all I have to say. Do I actually have to explain out that I was away from my phone for like 6-7 hours at a shot? And you just know that you are a free bird. You are free. And wherever I go, I feel like I have a friend that, like, if I'm desperate to make a phone call, I can always pop into the friend's office, pop into the friend's store, and make my phone calls. So I know, like, if I'm desperate, I can do that. But it's just like to somehow just like be able to separate yourself from your phone is this incredible experience that we have. So if you're able to do that, then you really have the best of both worlds. You have your cell phone when you need it, and then you get to put it away when you're like, well, hey, it's no friend of mine today, that's for sure. And it's interesting because 20 years ago, when TV was still the great big thing, the principals of my kids' schools used to send us a letter saying, look, we know everybody has TV, and that's not a problem. The problem is when you plunk your kid down and right by the TV first thing in the morning, and they see these constantly changing images. Sesame Street was a great big deal back then. Every 5 seconds, the character changes. Every 5 seconds, the lesson changes. Every 5 seconds, the number changes. Every 5 seconds, the next episode happens. And they said, how can teachers possibly compete with that? You cannot compete with a screen that's changing every 5 seconds in Technicolor. And even as a professor, and it made so much sense, like, just don't let your kids watch TV at home before they go to school, because teachers can't compete with that. But now, even as a professor, I'm learning, like, I feel the need to keep up with the students and what they're seeing. So I'm all over the place. I'm like, they're like, how do you have so much energy? I'm like, I have so much energy because, like, I gotta keep the crowd entertained. I don't have a choice. I have to keep everybody busy here. I know that you have your social media, you have your TV, you have your screens. I'm like, I gotta keep up.
One time I went to the comedy club, and they said no cell phone policy. So they actually went around and they collected everybody's
like
cell
school.
phone,
like private school.
So yeah, they should do this as the same thing.
We do this at some schools.
School at
like,
college.
No phone.
Yeah, and I felt it was such a good idea. At least for 40 minutes, just give it away. That's all right.
Yeah. Nothing will happen if you give your phone away for 40 minutes. It's like a security blanket. But then again, any baby who ever had to give it away for 40 minutes, nothing really happens.
No.
They forget about it after a few minutes, anyways.
Right.
Yeah. So it's very interesting. My early years teaching, when we started to have social media, very interesting because my students used to actually close their phones and put their phones on my desk. I'm like, what are you doing? I trust you. I don't need for you to do that. They're like, oh, but other professors make us close our phone and put our phones on their desk just to make sure that we'll never use our phones during class.
That's a good idea.
I like that. But we're talking now 20 years ago, though, when like the very, very, very beginnings of social media were happening. I don't know.
That's a good idea.
What's this world coming to? But you know what? I'm a very, very hopeful and optimistic person. I think things can only get better from here. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am Dina Nierenberg, hostess of Life as I See It, with one of my favorite guests of all time, Dr. Olga Silberstein. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. Anytime at all. It's great
Always fun.
Thank you so much. Love you all. Take care. See you next time.